Hey, thanks for joining me for another 5 great albums from the 90s. And my first one for today is Merciful Fate, Return of the Vampire. They're rare and unreleased. So even though these are recordings from the 80s, this album was not put out until 1992. This is on Metal Blade. So what this is early Merciful Fate recordings. You have a song like Curse of the Pharaohs in an earlier form, a number of songs unique to this release, and my favorite on here has got to be A Corpse Without Soul. It's quite the performance by King Diamond, but it's also different from the singer that he will become. So this doesn't match up with the first two classic albums by any means, but definitely a cool album. Cool release. And it's a single blue vinyl. If you notice the shirt I'm wearing, it says, oh, it's Halloween, King Diamond. I got that in the Metalhead box 3 years ago, and I was really excited about it. I thought it's a pretty cool shirt, so here I am wearing it in May. And in that same box, I also got this Every Day is Halloween Pure Steel pin. And between these two things, like, I was really pumped up about that. That's probably the best one I ever got, because I've probably gotten 10 or so of those over the years. But yeah, I was gonna maybe save some of these things for like making some episodes of Halloween, but I can't contradict the pin, right? Every day is Halloween. But anyways, so speaking of Type O Negative, we're gonna go with the debut album, Slow, Deep, and Hard. This is the 2021 re-release on Roadrunner. Not my favorite Type O Negative album, but a good one. I actually bought this CD when I was a teenager at a used video game store back in the day. And I bought this, and I had no idea what that album cover was. I just couldn't. You know how it is. You don't really, when you see it, you see it. But it's a very nice release here, and it's a double green vinyl. And it comes with a cool poster that I like to put on the wall, but I think I'm going to keep this record intact. Yeah, definitely one of my least favorite Type O Negative albums, but they're also one of my favorite bands, so it's still awesome. Next up, popular one, Faith No More, The Real Thing. They formed in San Francisco in '79, and they put out 6 albums by 1996 when they broke up. Faith No More was definitely an important band to my early rock music listening. Remember, a friend of mine for birthday gave me an Offspring tape, but I already had it, so I returned it and bought the King for a Day, Fool for a Lifetime, Faith No More CD. Just kind of blindly, just kind of picked something that looked cool, and I love that album. And I'd kind of go back from there. This is definitely the most popular one, I think. The first 3 songs, From Out of Nowhere, Epic, Falling to Pieces. Popular songs, but I love them all. And my deep cut favorite is Zombie Eaters. They would return in 2015 for Sol Invictus. And I haven't listened to that album in years, but I'm kind of sentimental about it. It was in the car CD player for the weeks before and after my first child was born. It's just one of those albums. But yeah, this one is probably the best one. Next up, from 1999, Integrity 2000. So this is an album by Integrity, and I don't know if I don't think they changed their name to Integrity 2000. I think it's just the album's called 2000. So it's definitely a cool album cover. Strange package. You look at that. Look at that CD print. But integrity, hardcore, but tons of metal influence, evil sounding. Great band for metal fans who are want to try a little bit of hardcore out. But they've like during the '90s, they had Systems Overload, Humanity Is the Devil. One more I'm not thinking of, but just like some '90s classics. This one was pretty good too. And from there, I heard an album here and there, and it was always good, but they're just not a band I listen to very often. And final one for tonight, Faith, Hope, and Love by King's X. I talked about King's X on a different video where I talked about Ear Candy. I think that's one of the best albums ever, and King's X's best release. A lot of people say Gretchen Goes to Nebraska is the best one. To be honest, I've never really, despite being a fan of the band, I've never really delved into that album, so I can't really comment. But this is the second best from what I've heard. Came out in 1990 on Megaforce and Atlantic. My favorite song on here is definitely I'll Never Get Tired of You. I think it's kind of a feel-good band. Great musicians. And these guys are getting older now. I haven't heard the last couple albums, but again, these guys are kind of close to my heart. I'm sure I'll get to those one day. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.